We'll start with a better Bachelor story here. You, this is the only response you can say to anything like this. You've got to be effing kidding us. And this is from the Daily Mail. Now, I shortened the headline just a little bit so it would fit on the thumbnail, but it's pretty close. Are men to blame for the UK fertility crisis? Women want children, but they can't find a partner to commit. This is the same thing as when it was like women can't find a man to marry because men don't make enough. Blame it on the men, even though women are taking all their jobs. This is a women blame men for marriage problems, even though women filed for divorce most of the time. Men are suffering and getting ended in war. Women most affected, made famous by Hillary Clinton. This is one of those moments once again. And what blows me away is in this story, they literally say, this woman says, I need to step up my game. I need to be more choosy. So when women keep becoming more and more choosy, leaving 95% of the men behind, then turn around, look at the men and say, this is your fault, because you're not good enough for me. That's gaslighting 101. This is a gaslighting campaign against men. I don't know if it's to make you fall in line with feminism. I don't know if it's to paint you as weak or worthless or to just mentally break men. I don't know what it is, but so far it seems it's not mentally breaking men. It's not making men feel that they're not worth anything. It's just got men saying like, let me get my soundboard here. It's got men like this.
Oh, wait, you serious?
It's just got men saying you can't be serious right now. So I've got the story pulled up. I'm not gonna delay getting into it too much, but I do want to bring up some videos that are the same kind of stuff. It's not stuff I've shared before, but it's similar stuff. And it's always the stuff that we keep sharing, saying this is more proof that it's the women, not the men, over and over and over. And then I'll read the story. Before I jump into that quickly, now, as you see, this is my last live stream I did here on Locals. Guys, we have 8,600 people over here on Locals enjoying my live streams for free. You just have to sign up with an email, become a member, doesn't cost anything. And this is why I think my views are falling off on YouTube and on Rumble a little bit, because more people are joining Locals to watch my stuff here because it's ad-free and you can say anything and you can get in the chat and you can type very inappropriate things and you can have fun. And I think this is great. I'm fine with it because I'm fine with YouTube getting less money. However, I would ask if you are here because I don't have anywhere near 8,600 supporters here. I'm nowhere close to that. So I'd really appreciate it if you became a supporter and get your stuff ad-free over here with free speech. I'm fine with you being here and not being a supporter, but I'd appreciate it if you would be. So here's some headlines. 45% of young women to be single by 2030. Feminists are blaming men for failing on women. So it's us not living up to women's needs. From Time Magazine, the child-free life when having it all means not having children. So when you're going to write this article about men not stepping up to be fathers and husbands to these women, and then you're going out there saying, well, women, you don't even need kids anyway. And then, well, why are we having a child crisis? Why aren't we having children? It's men's fault. Even though women are the ones overwhelmingly voting for the party that their only running topic is baby deletion. And then you've got women like this. These girls all go out to the clubs or with their boyfriends or whatever, and they call it girls' night pregnancy roulette. And this is what they push and cheer on in social media. And then when men say, I'm not going to marry somebody like this, I'm not going to be a father to a kid of somebody like this, they say, well, it's your fault. Now, for those of you just listening, it's a bunch of women walking in, laying their pregnancy tests, which means they're raw dogging with randos and not using any protection.
Negative.
Negative.
Negative. Negative.
Negative. Who's pregnant? It's a strong lie.
And they're bragging about it. They're all bragging and laughing at the end that they're not even taking any protection. And they're having randos come over. Now, I don't know about you guys. A body count is bad. Like, we all agree on that. Body counts are horrible. The damage that it does to a woman's ability to pair bond and get into a relationship and be reliable and not cheat and not leave and not have a wandering eye. We've talked about the science. We've talked about the actual brain chemistry, how men and women are different. But then you've got these women that are not only bragging about it, and they're also raw dogging, and the guys that are participating in this, dude, stop it. This is just as much your problem for not being smart about this either. And what's she going to do? She's going to go in, probably get the deletus fetus, stuff. And then she's going to throw a party, eating cake and having drinks, shots of alcohol because, oh, awesome, we got rid of our kids. But remember, when we get to the main story here, when we get to the main story here, are men to blame for the UK fertility crisis? Women want kids, but forced into freezing their eggs due to the mating gap, where they can't find a partner to commit. Gee, why can't they find a partner to commit? Why? It's because of all this stuff. Here's another one. I slept with almost 1,000 dudes from some chick. 987 to be exact. If you're going to shame people doing this trend, shame me instead. I effing dare you. 526,000 likes. 526,000 likes. And a guy's going to look at this and say, I'm not going to have a kid with you. I don't want to be anywhere near you. You're gross. I think there's a ton of guys that would hear this number and they're like, what do I care? Like, just wrap it and go for it. But you can still get something. You can still get the gift that keeps on giving. A lot of people don't realize that it's skin on skin contact. And I actually had to look into this because everybody was saying, just wear protection. I said, I don't think that's how it works because the numbers would be way lower than it statistically is. Come to find out, it's just skin contact in the general area. She gets a little bit of the juices flowing there a little bit, and you get it on your hip bone or something, and congratulations, you get the gift that keeps on giving. Statistically, after 987, it's 1,000%. You've got women that divorce late, leave men in the lurch, won't date, sleeping with all the same men, getting absolutely crushed with all these diseases. And these guys, a lot of these are the diseases that they're the gift that keep on giving. And these, chads don't think about it. Then they go out and they get something. I'll tell you a great way to protect yourself. Well, that'd be going to the wellness company at twc.health/oddmanout and use code oddmanout to save $30 with free shipping right now. These guys created a medical emergency kit, and it's good for every home in America, and you should have at least one of these. They're packed with life-saving medications like ivermectin, amoxicillin. If you catch one of those itchies, that amoxicillin will save you. And even a Z-Pack, and they're all backed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. Picture this. No more frantic searches for a doctor. No more emergency waiting rooms. Just a few clicks, and this kit is delivered to your front door. In times like these, both with war, probably what's going on with the election problems, and the whoas that are out there, now's a good time to have a medical emergency kit that is necessary. Protect yourself and your family by preparing now. twc.health/oddmanout and use oddmanout, code oddmanout, for $30 off the kit. Because if we do get into something, I don't think we're going to have a smooth crossover of power. I think there's going to be a lot of crap coming up. And if it is, depending on whoever gets in, our economy's toast. But I'll share that in a moment. Well, this woman, she left her husband. It wasn't his fault. Let's see how it turns out for her.
Why get a divorce after 25 years of marriage? The short answer is because it is not too late to be happy. And I finally got to a point at the beginning of the year where I decided that it wasn't too late to be happy. I still have, hopefully, many more years left, and I would like to be happy for those years.
1 week later.
I'm just not strong enough to fight this one by myself. I don't know what to do.
What? So when the older generation of men see their wives leaving them just because they want to be strong, empowered females, the younger guys see that and they say, well, if so many women are leaving these guys after marriage of 15, 20 years because they're going to be happy and they think they can do better, and a week later they're crying about it and want to come sniffing back, or what about the ones that want to open up their relationships? They talk about, oh, I just want to open up my relationship. I think I have a screen cap of that somewhere. Anyway, you've got these women out here that are doing this. So men see women leaving them in the 40s, or younger men, young guys, the ones that are of age to get married, the rest of it, see these older guys and their wives are just leaving them, right? Leaving the families to go out and, oh, I'm strong and amazing. And then the younger guys see the next generation. Not only are they leaving men, taking half their money, but then they're blaming men. They hate men. They make fun of men. All the world's problems are men. And then they blame men and they gaslight men. And guys are like, I'm not doing this anymore. Check this one out. So this young lady right here actually has the based answer. This is why I have hope for you Gen Alphas, maybe some of you younger or mid-range Gen Zers. And maybe even the youngest of millennials. I have hope for you guys. Because at least some of the very youngest women entering into the dating market are seeing the failures of the previous generation, and there might be a snapback. There might be a snack back. Let me just play this. It's about a minute 45. Let me full screen this. I think you'll appreciate this because it's the young women correcting the older ones that you had your choice, man. You had your chance and you blew it. And now we see this and we're going to change our ways. So there is a little bit of hope. It doesn't mean women's nature changes, but it does mean maybe at least they're admitting that they're actually part of the problem, if not the entire problem.
I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. I would love to be a homemaker and a wife. I would love to be able to live on a homestead and go milk my cow and take the eggs out of the chicken coop and have one baby in the belly and on my hip and another toddler coming behind me. That's like my dream, but I can't fucking do that because the way the economy is set up is I'm forced to work. I'm forced to get an education, a higher education, a college degree in order to make enough money that I can be financially independent and afford my own home.
None of that's true. Let me just step in. None of that's true so far. You don't have to go get a degree. You don't have to go deep into college debt to go and do this to afford your own place and all these other things. There's a lot of successful blue-collar workers. Yes, it's tough. What she's not saying in that part is, I want to live in the top 5 or 10%, and I can't get that without going out and doing all these things. It's because their aspirations and their goals are set too high, and they've done it to themselves. They can't admit that part.
My own rent or my own gas or my own groceries, my own insurance. And it's extremely difficult to do that. And it's very isolating as a woman when you have to do all of that all on your own and you can't find somebody that you can outsource some of those chores and financial responsibilities like you would with a spouse. So no, being a single working woman absolutely sucks. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it. I would go back to the 1950s in a second just so I wouldn't have to deal with this shit.
Amazing. She'd go back to the 1950s so she doesn't have to deal with it. That's what they say. But then they get back into the 1950s where they have to cook dinner and they have to appreciate their man and they have to take care of him because he's been working hard all day. And that would be out the window in a hot second, and men know it. But if she actually did that, men would say, I will make a mother out of you. I will make a wife out of you. I will marry you. I will be with you. But she's just saying it because she's frustrated with work. But take away her money, take away her freedom, take away her ability to sleep with whoever she wants to and be the strong, empowered women. And instead of saying, oh, I'm tied to my job and I'm tied to all these other things, she'd be saying I'm tied to a husband and I'm tied to a family that does. It's always something. And whatever they don't have is what they really want. They had the 50s dream. And they blew it out of the water for feminism and freedom. And I don't want to be under the yoke of an oppressive male. And I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, and have all my money. Okay, now you get that. Well, I get the money and I get my degree, but now I'm in debt. And now I have all this money. And now I'm tired and I hate to go to work for 8 or 10 hours a day. And I got to pay my own bills. And there's no one to love me because I'm a strong, empowered female. And no one wants to spend any time with. And blah, 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 blah. I want the other thing now. This is why fundamental religions, and I use all of that, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christianity, fundamental Christianity, all these old ones that say women's place is in the home, I will make the decisions for you, and this is what it is. This is why that's gaining traction again. Because whatever you give a woman, and many of these women, whatever you give them, they're unhappy with no matter what you give them. You can do anything you want. Okay, I'm going to go on OnlyFools and be a millionaire. Go ahead. Oh, I want all those things. I'm a millionaire now, but I want all those pictures removed from the internet because I want a family. It was your choice. Too late. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Go ahead. I'm under the yoke of an oppressive man. I want to go out and work for a living. I'm under the yoke of an oppressive business, and I don't like. It's always something. And then when they don't get it, what do? They turn right around, point to men, and said, "You did this to us." Gaslighting 101. They will never take accountability for we let them do anything. Gaslighting 101.
You're talking about a traditional nuclear family where the woman doesn't work in a married household with kids.
And statistically, that was the case.
You're a single woman who isn't married with kids yet.
So I'm for it because of the way it is. Most women were married by the age of 21 up until the 1970s.
I think it's a woman's choice. Before that, it was societally encouraged to marry young.
Yeah, and it was better for women mental health-wise, long-term, to be able to go into that long-term committed relationship and have the established family instead of being forced to slave away for a corporation that doesn't like you, doesn't care about you, makes you sit under fluorescent lights for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You get a lunch break, you get health insurance, but do you have somebody who loves you staring at you every day like your child? No, it's horrible.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. I absolutely love this. I love this. Feminism, men going their own way. La, 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 we're not men. You women should be in the household. and be good to their man, and they wouldn't have to work, and they'd have a loving family. No, we're a strong, empowered female. La 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 la. Oh, misogyny. You just want to enslave women. You had it better back in the 50s. You just don't listen. But now you're la 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 la. Boom, and they meet again. Congratulations to the red pill, dingbat. Congratulations to what we've been saying for the last gosh knows how many years. Welcome to our side. Thank you for joining the correct side. You could have saved yourself. You could have listened to us. We've been telling you this for years. But you notice what's brilliant. It's they're always, let me go to my full screen here. They're always this age when they realize it. They're always this age when they go, I don't have a man and I don't have any choices anymore and nobody wants me and I'm going to spend my life alone. They're always this age. They're always, hold on, where's the other one here? They're always this age, Miss Crying Feminist. This is so hard alone. They're always that age. They're never this age. They're never this age. Here are all the girls raw dogging all the chads in college and everything. It's awesome. This is great. We're feminists. College debt. And at least, this young gal here is based. This young gal right here is based. She looks to be 18, 19, 20, 21, somewhere around there. And she's like, statistically, you had the choice. You can get married at 20. Now, it doesn't say that she's going to not be any different than any of these other women, but at least she recognizes, at least she sees what's happening to the previous generations. And she's like, you have a choice. You're the one that chose what you're doing. You were 21 at one point. You could have avoided all this, but you didn't. Elon Musk, this is what I talk about red pill going mainstream. Elon Musk is now basically showing a slideshow I showed in a video 3 years ago. From Rabbit Hole, women are doing pretty well in academia. And Elon Musk, women are exceeding men in academia, which has been like this for a long time. Elon Musk talking red pill stuff. Elon Musk spreading it. Oh, here's the other thing I was talking about earlier. This woman, her body count before opening my marriage, 2 men, 0 women. Now, she's not a looker by any means. She's probably 35 or 40 years old. And then she says, after opening up, 48 dudes instead of the 2 previously, 26 women, and 94, I don't know, black dudes, I guess. Congratulations, black gentlemen, on your trouser snake soup. And all it takes is the younger generation looking at this and saying, wait a minute, Ashley St. Clair, which she does politics, she does a bunch of stuff in the media. She's almost got a million followers on social media. She says if we lose the elections because men didn't vote. Or it could be that like something like 68% of single women vote for the party that allows baby deletion up to any age. The ones that actually become motherly and then decide to get rid of it. And who does she blame it on? Well, if we lose and the other side loses, it's because men didn't do their part. Not the, almost 70% of women that vote on a single issue of baby deletion. So the main article here from thedailymail.com, are men to blame for the UK fertility crisis? Women want kids. No, they don't. They are literally voting for all the parties that are for baby deletion. They want kids, but are forced into freezing their eggs due to the mating gap. Forced. We're forcing them now, guys, where they can't find a partner to commit. This is written by Emily Stern, a senior health reporter for Mail Online. Shocking. This is from Britain, but it's the same thing here in the United States. Britain's fertility crisis was laid bare yesterday as stark figures revealing birth rates across the country were at their lowest since records began, with numerous factors blamed for the decline, from women wanting to pursue careers, yes, to not being able to afford homes and childcare. No, false. You can blame the government for that, but you can't blame men. Blame your government for that. And why can't they? Because of inflation. And where's the inflation come? From government printing money. And why is government printing money? For all the free giveaways. For who? Women. So women, you want all the free giveaways. The government prints that money for you. They give it to you. Inflation goes up. You can't afford anything. And what do? You turn right back to the government and hold your hand out for the next money printing giveaway, not understanding how finances work. It's women that brought us into this. It's women entering the work world and doubling the work capacity of people, which meant that wages didn't grow. It's women that started all this stuff. They say for a population to sustain itself, the total fertility rate, number of babies each woman has in her lifetime, must exceed 2. But last year, England and Wales recorded an average of 1.44 children per woman of childbearing age. Now, some experts are claiming the problem is being fueled by men who are unable to commit to a traditional family lifestyle. Oh, goodness me. So women go crazy. Women go online showing how much they sleep around, how they work. They don't need no man. We're strong, empowered. We don't, men are just worthless and useless. So men's response is fine. I'll leave you alone. Now we've got problems. There's a fertility rate problem. Women, and who are they blaming? Men. Because we can't commit to them. Well, maybe it's because you're undesirable and you're unwantable. And you divorce men and leave them at the drop of a hat because it's Tuesday and a guy down at the gym winked at you. In her 2023 book, Martha Inhorn, a medical anthropologist at Yale University, coined the term mating gap to describe how men rather than women who are to blame for the unstoppable decline in overall population, with economic crisis predicted if it continues. Men have no choice in this, by the way. If a woman wants to keep it, she keeps it. If she doesn't, she doesn't. Men have zero say. So what happens when men have zero say? It's men's fault. It's men's fault. At the time, Vicky, who shared the process with her 5.5 million Instagram followers, was 35 and engaged to him who was 29. Okay, he's 29. You're 35. You've got 2 eggs left. They're cracked and they smell like last week's garbage. And you're going to blame him because he's 29? You're dating down 6 years? Why don't you date a guy that's a little bit older, a little bit more mature? She said, I was aware that post 35, the health of my eggs and the viability of them would be seriously deteriorated. But he, Ramadan, is 6 years younger than me, and men mature later than women. Well, then why did you decide to date him who wasn't ready? Here's how that goes. Would you like to have children soon? I'd like to get married and have children. You know, that's in my cards. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm still 29. I got my life ahead of me. You know what? We're not going to work out. I'm going to find somebody else to date. What'd she do? She dates a guy who's not ready and then blames him because he's not ready. Look, you're the one that screwed around till 35 and again are out of eggs. That's not his fault, but she's going to blame him. In a 30-minute BBC documentary, Egg Freezing and Me, referring to the rise in women making the same choice, she also admitted, I do think some people are influenced by celebrity culture and the trend for high-profile women to choose egg freezing. Okay, that's not men. That's women. That's women. That's celebrity. That's not Joe the plumber down the street. This is funny. Earlier this year, Made in Chelsea alumna Sophie Herman, 36, revealed she had frozen her eggs to give herself more options. That's not men doing that. That's you not being able to select a man that's reasonable. It came after telling Mail Online she had contemplated the idea for 4 years and was ultimately waiting for Mr. Right to come along. Not Mr. Right, Mr. Perfect. Do you see a trend? Do you see this trend that's going on? It's not Mr. Right, it's Mr. Perfect. You're 36, 34, 38, 37. And it's like the last 15 minutes you have to have a kid, and you're like, well, I haven't found Mr. Perfect, so now I'm going to have to freeze my eggs. You've had almost 40 years, at least 20 and change almost in the dating market. And you're still waiting for Mr. Perfect. But in the meantime, why won't Mr. Perfect show up? Because the body counts and you're strong women who don't need no man and you're working, and men are afraid of strong women and all the other crap we talk about. And then June, 34-year-old Beyond Chelsea star Rosie Fortescue also admitted she froze her eggs. But the trend's not limited to celebrities, with social media users taking platforms. It's because you're on OnlyFools until the tender age of 40, making $300,000 a year. And then, you're going to college. You're sleeping around. You've had, 20 pregnancies you've ended up deleting, and you can't have a kid anymore. And you're going to blame it all on men because men are like, you're gross. I want no part of you. Well, it's obviously the men's fault. In one TikTok video, Chessa Coy, who goes by the username @SugarPlumGoth, and boasts 65,000 followers, also said, I don't know if it's because I'm dramatic or because it's Aries season and I'm an Aries rising. Oh, there's nothing like convincing a man to have children with you because you're determining your life's path based on the stars. She said, I've decided to freeze my egg. It's not looking great out there. I don't want to settle. I want to raise my bar even higher.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
It's the same thing they say every time. I'm done sleeping with the bad boys that just pump and dump me. I'm done sleeping with the Chads. I'm done chasing Chads. I'm just done with it. I have to raise my standards. Now, he still needs to be a Chad, but he just needs to not leave me or not use me or not have 7 other girlfriends at the same time. He needs to be a top 3%er, but also commit to me for the rest of his life. It's not going to happen. But instead of adjusting their limits or their ceiling down, it's just, I'm raising my standards now. The 28-year-old from New York added, I'm still in my 20s, but I wanted to do it while I had the chance, and it's been a crazy process. And then she'll be in her 30s, and then 35, and then 37, and then she'll go back and check on her eggs and realize that only 12% of them actually make it, or whatever it is, that it's an incredibly low chance. And she'll be 38, and she'll say, oh my goodness, I didn't realize the chances were so low for me to actually have a kid after freezing my eggs. Why didn't they tell me? And the doctors don't tell you because they make $20,000 doing this and laugh their asses off when you end up being 37, single, no kids, and crying. Latest figures from the Office for National Statistics also suggest the average age of parents has hit a record high, 30 for women and 33.7 for men. It marks a rise of almost a fifth among women and sixth among men. Why? Because women don't want men. They want to sleep with them and party and make their own money and have fun. This is the same thing we talk about all the time. But what they're failing to realize is men don't want them anymore. That's really what this whole thing's about. The headline could scream, men don't want women anymore because women are insufferable cunts. They're insufferable bitches that are deep in debt from college. They think they don't need no man. They're strong, brave, and empowered. And so men have decided to walk away. They just changed the headline. It's the same story, old as dirt. They say egg freezing was not about their careers. It was about being single or in very unstable relationships with men who are unwilling to commit to them. Okay, why are you in a relationship with a man that's unwilling to commit to you? He's got options. He's banging 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 girls on the side because he's Chad Thunderstroke, the top 5% of men. That's why he's unavailable. Why are you dating him? Why are you with him if he won't commit? I've yet to hear anything in this story is the men's fault. But they put this headline because they don't want men or women to take accountability for their own stupid actions and their own decisions and their own reasonable decisions, because they don't have any that would take accountability. And all we have to do is go back in time. All you have to do is be on social media. And here's the thing, with all these videos and all these comments and all these headlines and everything I pulled up, every single one of these that I read off today. Do you know how long it took me to find all this? 15, 18 things talking about women being absolutely insufferable and awful about an hour before I started this story. Last night I found the headline and I said, I wonder if I can find some women behaving badly to support my story I'd like to tell today. It took all of about an hour before streaming today, and I find 15 examples. Now, how many examples do I have of men being ridiculous and over the top and treating women like absolute crap? And guys walking around with 7 girlfriends on their arms saying, Monday, Tuesday, these are my girlfriends, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It doesn't exist. Because number one, those guys aren't putting it on social media. They're too busy getting laid all the time because they're the top 5%ers. And the bottom 95% of guys are like, I'm tapping out, dude. Like, this just isn't for me anymore. I'm going to find other things to do with my time. And that's where we are. And that's why they fail. And they'll never take accountability because even once they get what they want, they're still miserable. So then they want the other thing and they're still miserable. And back and forth and back and forth. And the whole time they just keep glancing over their shoulder at men saying, why are you doing this to me? Women make terrible decisions. Women make terrible decisions. Men did it to us.